So I think trauma-informed care here at Door of Hope is the way that we approach our families, the way that we approach the moms, the dads, the kids that live here in our program. When we are working with them, when we're speaking with them, when we're interviewing them, we are coming in with a perspective that is open, with a perspective that is non-judgmental, and that causes us to ask the question, what has been your experience? What has happened to you? What have you seen? What have you gone through? And how has that shaped where you are today? How has that shaped the way you respond, the way that the family feels, the way that they interact with others, instead of asking questions like, what's wrong with you? Or, why would you do something like that? Because so many of our families have experienced different layers and levels of trauma over the years, via homelessness, poverty, abuse, all kinds of different things, sometimes for generations. And by the time we meet them, they have a history of experiences of trauma that has impacted and informed the way that they see the world, and of course then the way that they see Door of Hope. And so we have to come in with humility and with openness and with a willingness to meet the family where they're at, to serve them, to try and understand their experience, and provide services and care that are going to fit their needs. Trauma-informed care tells us also that not everything is one size fits all. What works for family one is not going to work for family two, because their experience is different. Their family makeup is different. All of that is part of working in a way that is trauma-informed. So we had a family, a mother and son, that came to live in one of our homes. And when they moved in, the child was around 5 years old. Prior to that, him and his mom were living with the father in a domestic violence relationship. And so that means that the child from ages 0 to about 5 was experiencing domestic violence in the home, seeing things, hearing things, feeling things that were very painful, very traumatic. And we know that the first 5 years of a child's life are very formative for all kinds of different reasons, emotionally, cognitively, mentally, physically. And so when he came to live at Door of Hope with his mom, child was very combative, hitting, kicking, biting, just constantly fighting with other kids in the house. Most of our kids love to play together in the homes. They become fast friends. Kids are really sweet like that. But unfortunately, it was just really tough for this child to, get in with the group and have fun with everybody else. And so instead of us reprimanding the mom or making her feel bad or demanding that she discipline her child, we didn't do any of that. And instead we take a trauma-informed approach, which means that we come alongside the parent and the child and do our best to provide them with support and resources, conversation, encouragement that is going to help the family heal, that is going to help the child heal, because we understand that his behavior is a result of his environment, his previous environment, and now he's in a different environment, hopefully one that is safer, that is cleaner, that is healthier. And little by little, we did see a big change in the child. He also had a hard time with potty training and eating and things like that. And with mom's dedication and staff trying our best to work alongside her, the child potty trained, the child began eating better, and he absolutely had a much better time in the house with the other kids. He was able to go to kids program and childcare and participate in things without starting a fight or hitting or kicking or biting, because it's hard sometimes too when a child is in program and they might be having a hard day and exhibiting challenging behaviors, and we don't want that child to feel like they're always in trouble, so we got to see a big shift and a big change where instead of this child always hitting, kicking, biting, he was sharing, he was talking with other kids, he was playing. And that doesn't mean that the child doesn't ever have a bad day or a tantrum. All kids do that. Door of Hope kids are just like any other kid. But we did see a drastic improvement as the child and the mom began to heal individually and together as parent and child.